Hi, hello, and welcome to the Daily Tarot Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene, Priestess of Ablossi. I will be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Sagittarius. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve. Thank you for allowing the pleasure to do so. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and share, subscribe, comment, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. If you could, please go ahead and smash that like button right now. Thank you. You belong to welcome home. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything resonates deeply with you, as I said, go ahead and smash that like button. The terrible phase is where we visit the lunar transits. Basically, well, it's about illumination and insight. And we follow and explore from a 3D, 4D perspective some of the stations that happen during pretty regular transits. They tend to happen every day, but it's a lunar day, which is actually 59 hours instead of 24 hours. It's a lunar day. We will be imposing the guidance from Thought Tarot. That's by Aleister Crowley, illustrated by Lady Frida Harris, published by US Game System. We'll also be using the minor arcana from the Cosmic Coven to clarify any findings around pairings. That's usually like a double or a triple. Sometimes if there's a matching energy, we'll use that. Other cards will come out as well, mainly the Daily Oracle by Vita Sibilla. It's published by Los Garabeo. If other union comes out like love, etc., we might use a different deck and talk about it at that time. Let us begin with an opening prayer. To all those still lost out there, to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the sea of the time, trapped away in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love, the universal oneness, upon we love you, we're sorry. Please forgive us, thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we be well, may we be happy, may we be whole, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting what we deserve. These readings have been intense, rich, content rich. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they are longer. It depends on the reading because we go until we see a very specific signature, which is usually the high priestess plus whatever the sign is that the moon is transiting. The new moon is signified by the high priestess, and the full moon is signified by the moon card. Although I only use planetary energies to signify planetary bodies because those are the frequency of whatever event that we're having. For instance, the moon, whenever it is Libra season and we are having a Sagittarius event, we're actually having a third house event. And the third house event that we're having right now is a lunation. So the moon. The moon is actually transiting in the third house. So we're going to have increased insight and intuition, since it's the moon, into the areas of the third house. The community we're given, that we're born into, or we're given, we inherit through some type of conditioning and programming. We're going to have increased insight and intuition into the community. Sometimes it's a communal unit, oftentimes not work related. So our neighborhood, our friends group, if we live in an apartment building, if we live in a large family that has a little bit more than, immediate family members, or even family members that are close in, less than 400 kilometers away, also known as 250 miles. It could be cousins, siblings, especially when they're younger. Okay. Older would be the 11th house. It also is the intellect, reasoning, communication. Think of it as technical or crafty, practical journeys of the mind. So, our craft, our talent, our ability, our acumen, our skills, how we cultivate out of what is given to us, especially actual, factual, or tangible, logical, practical, rational. Okay. It's less abstract, it's more, I, I wanted to say tactile, but I heard hands on the ground and not feet on the ground, hands on the ground. So, whatever that means, it might be instinctual, something that goes back a little while, or that's kind of ingrained. We're going towards some, so this is a new intuition, new insight, new litmus, because the moon usually represents what's manifest, hidden below the surface, not yet revealed, not yet manifest. It might require a cycle or some type of mechanism. With the full always means a new. So a new intuition, a new instinct, a new kind of evocative or visceral experience. There can also be hidden agendas, ulterior motives, even sometimes enemies. We have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is rules, regulations, restrictions. Something's been wrangled down or restrained. With the Page of Swords, it's feeling, restrained, feeling, restricted, feeling, held up in some type of cycle, usually around timing. Time, energy, effort, indulgences has gone into something and we need to take a pause. Maybe something else is in the queue, we're not front of the line, or maybe there's been some rule, regulation, restriction imposed on it. We might need to yield to some authority. It might be another person, it isn't. We don't have court cards coming out in these four. It's probably astrological. We have the moon energy here. I'm just going to call this because this is coming next. So there's a cycle. There's also some kind of throne of incarnation. I'm sensing it's usually Maya. We'll talk about that in a moment. Mahamaya. Okay, it's mirrored by some type of, repulsion or conflict. Can be compete, contest, conundrum, crossings, some type of karmic lesson. There will be also a karmic cycle. We'll talk about that in a minute. The door could open up to material abundance, some type of truth or proof. However, it requires a door. Okay. La lettera. So it can also be documentation, paperwork, a decree, a seal, some type of warrant. I'm thinking of a international warrant, not, you know, nothing to do with the law. Permission slip is what a warrant is in some jurisdictions, because our mind has something about frequency. We're putting out the right type of thought, energy, vibration. So that's what we're starting with. This Fool is clarified. So there is a new material beginning. The gate is opening for abundance. When previously it was sealed, the gate was shut for a reason. We were being prepared for some type of supreme authority, or we were beginning to learn intellect, reasoning, communication by preparing to go on the journey for some type of technical skill, as I said. So yeah, Five of Wands, Ten of Wands, that is a karmic cycle because of a karmic lesson. Okay, so when we have these two cards, it's usually the principality of the goddess. The Mahamaya can be the incarnational cycle as well. pure, gracious, exalted influence over an entire cycle, we might have some type of leg up spiritually, but we need to grow into it because of some type of spiritual maturation. So we could have had access to something and we just didn't step into it until we knew better in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Fool and the strength card often means a strong start or a new power, a new lineage with the sun. I mean, excuse me, I'm saying sun, I'm saying star. I'm not saying strength. That's it. So that's what I mean. The Fool and the strength card, it could mean a new lineage, a new power, a new, because the strength card is the tantrika, so some type of strong goddess energy, oftentimes through a priestesshood, whether we're taking the vows or initiated into it, it's kind of like we live that way. Not always do you need to, get scratched or step into or take the vow or wear the crown or initiation. Sometimes you just do naturally that thing. Sometimes if you're an artist, there's always going to be a creativity goddess that follows you, even if you don't actively seek her out. Sometimes if you're strong or in law or in law enforcement, even, there might be a justice or a warrior goddess that follows you. Sometimes like if you work with nature spirits because you some type of preservist, archivist, you might, maybe you're a chef, you have certain goddesses that follow you. An educator, Saraswati might follow you, for instance. So this is Tanchika. Typically, she comes around people that are of pharaonic bloodlines. They have affinities to cats and plants, both of those together. They might be some type of mediator, but strong. This is a person who could dust you up quite quickly, but would very ever rarely do that. You need to kind of get involved in the nastiness towards like children or defiling the earth before she, grits her teeth at you. I'm picking this up because she's grabbing the reins of something. There's been some vectoring going on where first there was a stop, a pause, a hold, a wait up, hold up, wait a minute kind of energy. And now it's a go, 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 move, 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 move. It's a go, it's time. And it's reining something in here. I'm talking about the strength card and the eight of wands. I'm not calling these cards out for some reason. So yeah, there was a breakdown. I was correct. There was a breakdown in our gifts. When you have the magician and the death card, there's typically a breakdown in some type of craft, skill, ability. Since it came out right after the high priestess, it could have, this is when for some reason our gifts aren't working, our intuition or something, it could have been taken away, but I don't see the Five of Pentacles. What I'm seeing is that we were on the precarious and prickly side of the cycle. We needed to face a fear, stand up, confront something. We might have been feeling guilt or shame. That kind of energy brings you into the lower chakras and it does block the gifts. If we're doing this third house energy according to the Sagittarius vibration, that's higher minded, that's faith, hope, and optimism into the bigger, brighter, and brighter future because we're looking up above the horizon towards the stars into the future. We might be competing for something, qualifying for something. We might be using some kind of higher minded or longer term vision. We might be just beginning to see the light in the darkness. We might have just found the light at the end of the tunnel. Something's kind of started because we're needing expansion or we're needing franchise and purchase here. With the Queen of Wands, Three of Wands, Queens needing three is expansion and franchise purchase. We're needing a signal, a sign. Because over the last month or so, 2 fortnights, there's been a termination point. We're at this completion jump off where we were dealing with quite a protracted, most precarious ending. But it also could be that we were restrained because there was something that went wrong. It might have even been that we were guilty or we did something poorly or even wrong. I don't want to say bad type of wrong, but things were mishandled or out of order. And it might have been because we didn't know better. Because the third house really does teach you how to deal with things coming toward you, but it always reminds you of what you have alive inside. This is the spiritual aspect of this lesson. There's always a tangible, meaning earthly and material, and then a spiritual, meaning celestial. So the spiritual lesson with the third house is that you are endowed with talents, gifts, and abilities. And how do you find your gifts? Well, you figure out what your talents are. Those are the things that you're already, aligned to or called to, but you have to learn them. You have to study them. You have to research them. You have to put some time, energy, effort, and attention into them. But few of those talents, we're not so much learning them in this lifetime. We're actually remembering them from a previous lifetime. Those are the gifts. And then a little secret, because we're moving from the high priestess to the magician to the empress, is literally the lesson that we learn in the mystery school. You use those gifts, putting them out into the world to make the world a bigger, brighter, better place. And in doing so, we unlock the promise in our life. We begin to align with the sacred calling, the divine mission, whether we're conscious of it or not, cognizant of it or not. The Five of Cups with the Knight of Cups is a purging energy. Literally, it's like a cosmic button being flushed. There's some things we can't nurture or give to. There's some things we gotta let die. Morte. I call it Trevici. But here in the Villa it's a bit different. Yeah, letterato. Something's been made clear, and we're, quabbling and quibbling, whining and wailing, yelling and yodeling about the fact that the divine has asked us to give it up, to let it go, to let it die. You don't have to get off of it. You're going to have to give it up. Let's get over it. Something bigger, brighter, and better is being offered, but there's not going to be a lot of traction. I'm a lot though, the sickness, the malady. We've been informed, we've been given a sign, proof that something's not going to grow, expand, shift, change significantly until we let some things go. There's a defeat that we need to accept here, and it's probably an ego defeat. There's probably an ego death that's still lingering. And it's been given to us as kindly as possible, as gently as possible. It's just sometimes when we attach to a narrative and then the divine, the universe comes through and says, okay, well, let me illuminate you ever so slightly. Let me broaden your horizon just a little tiny bit, just a little bit. And we're still stuck on the old or the past, or we're still stuck on stupid or something. I wouldn't say that again, stuck on stupid, not in this particular case, because it's not the Five of Pentacles, it's the Seven of Pentacles. If we haven't done the work, if we haven't made the investment in ourselves, we're still going to be in the past, and we're going to have trouble reaping something that hasn't been sold. We're going to have trouble getting something to yield that hasn't been properly invested in. It's because we might not understand the value of something, so we might need to go through the experience so that we can appreciate it. Because frankly, we are of a spiritual class, regardless if we like it or not, understand it or not, agree with it or not. It's just what it is. There's some type of sacred duty and obligation, God duty and obligation, some kind of sacred office here, because even though some negative has been given to us, it's curbed. For instance, the Five of Cups is accepting defeat in this circumstance and situation, and it came out with the Hierophant. Well, the Hierophant is another five. It regulates this five here. It curbs, it brings order to chaos. This is not chaos, this is the need to purge, or chaos will ensue. We're desiring to clear the air, to purge. What we need to do is grieve and mourn, accept defeat. It's an infinitesimal defeat. Something's micro. Now, there's a little bit of Saturn here in Taurus, which means there's constriction. We need to go by the book, Taurus. We need to follow policy, procedure, and protocol. We need to pay attention to the status quo. Learn the rules before you break them properly. It's not that you need to be an automaton, that you need to be stuffy forever, but learn what it looks like when it's done, or done the way everybody else does it, so that when you do it your own way, you have your own style and flair in a way that doesn't crash the boat. It's okay to rock the boat as long as it doesn't crash, you know, topple over, capsize. Yeah. So we're being granted, gifted Nine of Cups. That's a wish granted. We're actually made it in the afterlife. Yeah, we're still here in the ego, bottom of the barrel, petty, ordinary, common, basic, contesting, complaining, quarreling, competing, crossing with our own little will. It's like we're fighting a blessing that's bigger than our little perspective can imagine. You know, we're fighting for scraps when they're trying to give us the whole feast, the whole banquet, yeah, the whole banquet. And what we're doing is being short-sighted because there's too much self-interest. We've got to face some of the changes that are being imposed upon us. And that's where the movement's going to come, because we're competing with the divine. We're competing with our blessings. And we have been for about a week. Because some kind of groundwork has been laid and we're arguing with it. It might have been laid for us. It might have been laid by us kind of unconsciously. There is self-interest and lone wolf energies here. We're not tapping into, tuning into the all that is, the divine, the higher self, the whatever. We need to quantum jump a little bit here, or quantum alignment, really. There's frequency, energy, vibration. We call those quarks or particles of our future self, however we want to be in our highest vibrational outcome. It's beginning to tap on us, to touch us, to align with us here, and we keep fighting it and choosing the lower vibration, choosing the most unrefined and inelegant timeline to be on. And that's not actually something that we can argue, because whatever we're thinking that we want, what's being prepared for us is so much bigger, brighter, and better than our mind can fathom, however we are right now. So we just need to go with our higher self. And for some reason, we're choosing not to do that. It's short-sighted is what it's saying. It's a futile endeavor because it will be a foolish one, because it's fruitless. And there's no way to be told that. So we're just going to have, we've got to figure that out for our own. It can be said, but we can't be, that can be said to us, but it cannot be told to us. We're going to have to learn that one for ourselves, is what I'm protecting here. But if we do want to skip the cue there, just go with the intuition, go with the divine message, not the ego, which is a survival mechanism. But the intuition is a quiet voice that doesn't fight to be heard. We need to remove the obstacles to it being heard. But there's something here we can master as well. And honestly, if some kind of platform or pulpit or throne is being prepared for us, and we're making our life a little bit of a conflict zone, frankly, because we have that Five of Swords and now we have the Seven of Swords. So this is, I'm going to say this in it, it might not be material riches, but the riches that we're kind of going ham hog and heavy for are not going to be as we think they are in our mind. And the only other translation here or interpretation would be the destiny on our life, how we think the promise of our life and the spiritual inheritance that we are to receive. There's fear, there's ignorance, there's falsities, there's illusion, devil card here. And the devil and the tower usually mean we need to break free from hell. So we're in some type of frequency energy vibration that's keeping us lower vibrational. Okay. And this is the need to be counseled for destructive behavior. And it's because it's saying here that there is some type of talented or technology for us to be using, Hierophant and the magician. But remember, Hierophant in the tower says, receive help for that destructive behavior. And the tower and the devil means breaking out of hell or inevitable conflict. That could mean that we're very, very hard headed. The chariot and the world mean broadening one's horizons, and we've got to get international, refined, and elegant. Okay, from Seattle. You have to have dignified thinking, dignified acumen here. And there's a whole cackle of geese. There's a whole gaggle of geese here. All of our ancestors, guides, ascended masters, all of our spirit team is trying to refine us. So spirit, I mean, speranza, the hope. But speranza also means that you're principessa, like you're refined, you're elegant, you're prima. So for the last week, we've been desiring to break out, break free, cunning, strategy, tactics, but we are going to be looking for a sneaky way to do something. And really, we might need to move in secret for sure. We might need to finagle something. It's, I don't know how to justify that. But that's what's coming through. That's on you. You would know what that means. Because there's a graduation here for us if we want it. And it's going to come from coming out of a place of love. Needing proper connection and alignment here. Over the last 2 weeks, we've been finding some type of self-governance, self-mastery, self-regulation, system structures, foundations. That might have been the thing that helped us graduate a little bit because we're feeling I'm hearing the word ready, but normally this means we're feeling invested, like we've laid the groundwork and it's paying off. Because there's some type of drive, desires, passions, motivations here. We're feeling ready to receive something that we've laid the groundwork for. Okay, so we have a pair of nines here. Something's been going on over the last 2 weeks, and on the way towards the Taurus full moon, something's gonna happen, something's gonna pop here. So let's see what this pair of nines, because pair of nines means culmination, completion, really. And I'm hearing the song "Feeling All Right." It's actually by Revolution. Feeling all right. Okay, so we have our story and then the opposite, opposing narrative. Two of Pentacles, attending to something. The other side's overwhelmed with work. They're focused on something they've already touched from the situation. They're going to let it get worse unless we advocate for ourselves as well. So, you know, if you know, you know, that's what the other side is thinking. And that could be a person, place, or thing. An entity, energy, ideology. We don't know. It's the third house. Third house, typically things come towards us. Yeah, so it's saying that we're either restricted or we're second guessing. because we're bottom of the barrel or basic, or we're going through a karmic lesson, or, you know, we cutting up with the 501s where we bring in conflict. It might not be something that we ourselves would see that way, but it's not our place to tell another person what their needs, standards, and boundaries are. We definitely want to take a stand in some way. Seven of Wands, which can mean over the next week, a connection with the person, place, or thing, or our tie to an environment surrounding a location is protected. Seven of Wands is divine protection. It also says here that we're Nine of Wands. We're still fighting for something, albeit weary. We have a lot more to give. Could we are wanting fulfillment. Star card clarified by the King and Ten of Cups. So we've gone through a trial here. There is some type of clarification coming. It's really an awakening that comes through seeing things from a different perspective. And until then, we have to surrender, sacrifice, let go, let God. We had to work on this victory, work on not being basic, common, petty, ordinary, not being combative, not going with free will, not being challenged, and actually I'm hearing we had to take an active participatory role in our own life by going inward and realizing we were already blessed, favored, chosen, and anointed. We actually just needed discernment and great discipline. And that's what's been going on over the last 2 weeks. That we're not going to do this anymore. We probably had some illusionary success. I'm hearing wanton and lazy. I don't grasp where that's coming from. But actually, there's another take on this. That's just how we might have seen in the 3D. Sometimes when it looks like we're procrastinating or lazy, it's because we have fatigue. And, a lot of us here are watching our BIPOC or women or something like that. There's so much buffering and resistance fatigue that we have just to make it through the day because we have to hold space for other people that really aren't holding space for us. And it's not a cop out, it's not an explanation. I mean, it's not an excuse. It's just saying, like, sometimes there's a lot of leakage with our energy that goes towards justifying the space we take up instead of producing output. And it's not that we have the narrative where we're going around trying to explain our purpose for being and existing. It's just sometimes that is thrown at us, thrown on us, meaning people critique our presence because we don't fit into some box. We don't necessarily look like we are compliant. It's a threat to those who are unhealed, unawakened, and not doing the work. There's also a little bit of Sun and Virgo energy here. It's probably from another person. Yeah, something's coming forward where there's going to be an energy of a person who needs clarity or commitment or is trying to nurture. Something about it, however, is false or fake. Excuse my language, but the other part of that is could be something is hiding in plain sight. It's not easily seen because it's readily overlooked. It's been talking a lot about leading up to the Taurus full moon. But we need to learn about illumination and enlightenment here, Hangman and the Hermit. Now it's beginning to talk about stinking thinking. So river Styx, we're being let out of through having clearance, but what we have to do is release and withdraw. Until we start working on our spiritual gifts, until we get to a higher ground by sailing the mountain, going on pilgrimage, getting emotionally mature, withdrawing voluntarily from things that aren't in alignment with us. For instance, getting up from the table and love's no longer being served. Until we start working that out, it's just not going to happen. We might be feeling ready, feeling informed, feeling prepared. Page of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. We might be, but it might take up to 3 months if we don't willingly let go, surrender, sacrifice. Literally, Eight of Cups, withdraw. Move to calmer emotional waters. Go where things want us. Go where we're celebrated, not tolerated. So this Five of Pentacles, thinking, we are going to be desiring to make change. Knight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Knight's desire, Five of Pentacles, make change. Or the other side, probably the divine, maybe the Judgment card, is going to strip us or impose some type of force change on us. Yeah, think first before you judge. Feather, light as a feather, stiff as a board. What I'm getting is that we can manifest our every wish, but the world is awaiting for us and we're fighting it. Either we're waiting too much or we're not waiting. It depends. It's the flip for whatever we're doing. But the universe is trying to bless us and we're blocking our blessings. It's something that I keep getting here. And we've gotten two blessings, Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Cups. So this is the blessing of our heart's desires and the blessings of material abundance, but it's basically the seed, which means when the Ace of Pentacles comes out, there's a one specific thing we have to do or take or acknowledge or understand or receive before the whole thing begins to unravel in a positive way. Before we can connect all the dots, there's still a little missing piece. It's been given to us, it's probably already been offered. We won't go looking for it for too long. But here it's saying that unless we get some type of spiritual perfection, go on some type of healing, listen to prophetic guidance, like a messiah or a prophetess or something like that, a seer or an oracle, there's gonna be a slow crawl because there's lots of little things to overcome. The way to shortcut, bypass most of those things to overcome is go with God, go with spirit, go with grace, go with higher power. Don't go with your ego, with your free will, with your mind. Not that that's bad. But the people that get to go off free will and make it out of this world, they're not chosen. They're not on divine assignment. They paid admission to be here upon the earth. They don't get a paycheck. They're not here on assignment. They're attending the university. So it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me to do so. Go ahead and smash that like button, and until we meet again, until we read again, namaste, dandava, and nashe. Sayonara, dasvidanya, vidazane. I'm going to pull a Pop of Love Oracle because we got that King and Queen together. Yeah, new beginnings. It came out reversed, so we have a narrative. We need to let go of our issues and work through our struggles by recognizing what went wrong and how we played a part in it. I love you too much to let you go. Let us start anew. Now there's attached fulfilled Leo. Okay, yeah. So we're going up against the divine, but we think we all that in a bag of chips, and we probably are to the other little humans. But we going with the spirits, divine, pure, bright, blissful, blissful spirits. So we're in some type of karmic pattern or focus too much on responsibilities and not facing the issues that truly need to be worked through, which oftentimes the soul informs us of. Now we are coming close to some type of completion, but we're used to being the central focus and driving things. So we think we're being told no when spirit intervenes and slows us down or sits us down or something like that. But really it's coming in bigger, brighter, and better. It just needs a moment. And we need a moment to let it happen. We're letting good get in the way of the great. We're letting what we want right now compromise what we're going to have forever. And I'm talking about in the eternal life. Take good care. See you in the next one. Smash that like button. Bye bye.